Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Working Wednesday, Gabbalot Live. This is Kim Walker, and I'm back with you just to talk over a couple of things. I like to get something in my brain so that I can get on with my day, and I like to start with a clean slate, but there's a lot on my mind, and it particularly revolves around goal planning and goal setting. Of course, I'm doubling down into that space because I feel that people need a lot of help in that area, particularly with clients and students and people that I come across on a daily basis. And so I want to, if I can, offer some solutions. I like to be solution oriented as much as I can in order to help people get past themselves, to be quite honest with you. And so I hope that you are well wherever you are on this lovely spring morning. And so I just want to go ahead and get right into it. And I'm titling this talk Goal Crashers versus Goal Crushers. Goal Crashers versus Goal Crushers. And so I want to deal with the crashers first because I kind of want to end on a positive note. And again, to give you an opportunity to figure out your stuff. Okay. Because what I typically come across in my quote unquote work life. So that means in the ministry, that means in my consulting business, that means in my teaching and instructing and facilitating. I come across people really bright, gifted, skilled, people who are well intentioned, but simply for some reason, or I would say for a number of reasons, can't seem to make that transition from getting things done to really fully actualizing their potential. And, I talked about that in a previous talk with you regarding becoming actualized person down with that at another time. But in any um, crashers, I want to talk about the people who are well intentioned, they make goals, they intend to do the thing. Okay. And again, these are people who are already have a modicum of success. They are skilled, they're bright, they are accomplished, even in some ways. They're accomplished in some ways. So it has nothing to do with laziness or lack of intention. They're well intentioned. But what separates typically people who always are and you know these people who are out here who are just crushing it, and these people who are crashing. So I want to deal with the crashers because I want to help the crashers. And the reason why I want to help the crashers because I'm a reformed. Let me just say that reformed crasher. So I intend to work out my stuff, and so if I can help people to work out their stuff, that's what I'm going to do. So let's talk about the goal crashers. People who make goals, they have in mind the things they want to do. They there's even some aspiration to kind of emulate some people that they see, and they know they have the potential to do it. But what happens is the first thing that they do is they make excuses for why they can't get the thing done. It's one excuse after another. It's the dog ate my homework syndrome. Why didn't you get your homework done? Well, the dog ate my homework. Oh, I couldn't, my computer crashed. And here's the thing. Let me deal with the technology piece in a minute. It's there's all this, hey, this is for the traffic people. Okay. I live in Metro Atlanta. There's always going to be traffic. I don't care what. So you have to plan ahead. for these things. Contingencies happen. Oh, I didn't leave the house. Oh, there's always some excuse. Okay. And there is that group that has they have a good reason. They have a good reason for doing whatever it is that they do or they didn't do. There is always a reason. And then they're always apologetic. I'm sorry. Hey, there's always that. Okay. I want to deal with y'all because it's annoying when you're on the other side of it. When you're the person that's perpetrating, making excuses, you feel like as long as you're nice about it and as long as you are apologetic about it, you think that it lessens the blow. But what it does is the person who is waiting on you to get done whatever it is you get done, whether it's a collaboration, whether it's a group project, whether it's a client consultant relationship, whether it's in a workplace, in a church, in a nonprofit, wherever it is, people who are waiting on you to get things done, they are annoyed. Okay. And they may not even articulate that. But when you make a pattern of it and you make a habit of it, it annoys people. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's annoying. The excuses are annoying. So those are the crashers. Another example of the crasher is that they avoid the problems. Instead of dealing with their problems head on, they're just in like the problem doesn't exist. And let me tell you who you are. You are the people who the bills are coming to your house and you don't deal with the bills. And then you look around and then the bills are piling up. You don't deal with the mail. These are the people who the house is uncluttered. There's junk everywhere. You don't deal with it. You just put it to the side. You pretend it doesn't happen. You ignore it. I'll get to it another day. These are the always I'll get to it another day. I'll get to it tomorrow. I'll get to it next week. I'll get to it. I'll get to it. I'll get to it. These are actually coping mechanisms, and I'll get to that in just a moment, but these are actually coping mechanisms because the problem is so big, at least in your imagination, the problem is so big that you'd rather avoid it than having to deal with it because you don't want to deal with the discomfort of having to deal with the difficult thing. And so it causes you anxiety, so you avoid it. You don't deal with it, you move on. You try to find comfort in something else that is pleasurable for you. All right? And then there are the goal crashers. These are crashers now. Crashers who don't act on sound advice. You're always telling people your problems. You even maybe ask for help. Okay. And I have this with, sometimes with students and clients. Sometimes we have this contractual relationship and you're asking me for help. And I'm telling you, hey, this is what you need to do. Or if I'm your instructor, okay, this is what you need to do per the syllabus. This is what you need to do to get your grades straight. This is what you need to do to get your paper right. This is what you need to do to learn the concepts and to do well on the next test. Or this is what you need to do to learn to get your business straight from a consulting end. This is what you need. These are the steps you need to take to begin to adopt these strategies and these concepts. You ask for the advice. In many instances, you pay for the advice. You contract with somebody. You ask for help. And then when people tell you what it is that you need to do, you don't act on it. It's the adage of you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make the horse drink. It's that. People are constantly trying to lead you to a place where you can get the drink of water. But instead of drinking the water to satiate the thirst, you're looking at the water. You're doing everything but drinking the water. Those are goal crashers. Okay. There's also the crashers who feel sorry for themselves. Oh, I can't do it because I didn't have the advantage in life. I'm too old. I'm too young. I'm in a marginalized population. I can't do this and I can't do that, and that's for other people. There's always, this is the person who curls up in a ball, watches others live their lives. These are the trolls on social media, watching everybody crushing it. And meanwhile, they're feeling sorry for themselves because they think it can't be them, because they're making excuses for why they can't get done what they need to get done. Okay. So it becomes a never ending cycle. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy of continuing to make excuses, continuing to avoid problems, continuing not to act on sound advice, feeling sorry for yourself. And so ultimately, what these people lack. So let's talk about what goal crashers, these are the people who are crashing and burning. What do they lack? They lack a plan and a strategy. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That's attributed to Benjamin Franklin. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. But it doesn't just stop with planning, because you can make a plan, you can make a goal. Again, these are well-intentioned people. These are not bad people. These are well-intentioned people. The problem becomes when you don't follow through and you don't act on the very goals that you say that you want to crush. The very goals that you say that you want for your life and for yourself. When you fail to act on it, that's where the problems happen. Okay. And in many ways, I'm not trying to diagnose people, but there's a level of delusion that happens with this group of people. Again, not bad people, good people, well-intentioned, but they just simply won't follow through on anything. And so they'll spend their time making excuses, because to do the hard work, to do the actual plan based on the advice they've been given by an instructor, by a boss, by a supervisor, by a pastor, by a teacher, by whomever, instead of acting on the advice, they'd rather live in the discomfort, because that's a coping mechanism for them. Because they honestly fear coming out on the other side. They fear success in some ways. Many of them fear success. They like living with the distress. They like living with the discomfort. It's just because it's an easier path. It's the path of least resistance. Okay. All right. So spent some time talking about the crashers. Now, how do we get from crasher to crusher? How do we get it? Let's look at the personality type of people who are always meeting their goals, always doing what they need to do. Well, first of all, they have a plan. They have a very they are not only well-intentioned, but they act on their intentions. And I think about to me, the best example of this type of this goal crusher people are these young people. You're hearing about them, especially now. It's the end of the school year, and you're hearing about these young people who have applied to all of these scholarships, and who have and it's interesting. Social media is an interesting beast. People who have gotten all of these really awesome scholarships, people actually criticize these people talking about they're taking away our people. But if you are a young person, we're talking 17, 16, 17, 18 years old, and you have done the work of applying to numerous schools. First of all, let's just think about it. Those of us who are, older working people, filling out paperwork and filling out applications just for a job, just for, filling out loan applications, filling out any kind of application takes a certain type of brain activity. It's work. And so a young person, a young teenager who has the fortitude to go through that process multiple times, first of all, look for those opportunities, have the self-awareness to know that they can qualify for these opportunities, and then goes about, while maintaining their schoolwork, goes about filling out all of these applications and then having the anxiety of having to wait to see, well, did I get in? Did I not get in? Did I get the scholarship money? And I applaud parents and guardians who guide these people, or because they start them early, and but then also too, these young people I've seen, those that really crush those multiple scholarships, they are very goal oriented people. These are the crushers. They have a plan, they stick to it, and they don't allow themselves to be distracted and redirected. So here's the thing: a goal crusher is going to tackle their problem head on. The problem, whatever that problem is. So let's keep with the example of the young person who has multiple scholarships. Oftentimes, people who apply for that many scholarships, money usually is the issue. They want to avoid the high cost of having to deal with school loans. And we see what the school loan problem is right now. They don't want to burden their parents. They want to be able to concentrate on their studies when they go off to school, as opposed to having to go to work study or take on another job that's going to distract them from the study. So they want to get ahead of it to make sure that they have enough money to make sure that they're comfortable so that they can concentrate on studying and keeping the scholarships. So that typically is the problem. The problem typically is a money problem, which I argue is the problem that most people have. Well, I say a good bit of people that have, except for the uber rich. So their whole agenda is, I get enough money to cover my tuition. I won't burden my parents. I won't burden myself with having to take on another job, and I can get through school, concentrate on my studies, graduate, be successful, and when I come out of school, I won't be under a load of debt and have that school debt on my ceiling. That is the quintessential example of a goal crusher. They have anticipated the problem, they have examined the problem, they have worked out all of the solutions, or all of the possible solutions, and they have formed a plan and a strategy of implementation. Again, this is the crusher. They make a plan and they tackle a problem head on. Also, they act on sound advice and they implement it. They have listened to teachers, parents, mentors, counselors. They probably have been in summer programs along the way. So there's another opportunity to make themselves more marketable. They're the person who's shown leadership qualities. They're probably all usually student government. They usually are involved. They're volunteering here. They're doing 17, 18 years old. Were you this dedicated and committed to a course of action? They're committed to the goal, and they're going to do whatever it takes to make sure, and they plan for as well. then they don't feel sorry for themselves. They know it's hard, because if it wasn't hard, if it was just easy for them, they wouldn't be involved in all of these different things. And so they goal crushers have a victor mentality as opposed to a victim mentality. If you're on, and again, I understand that there's systemic forces, and sometimes we are in a position where we are victims of things. We are victims of situations. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about embodying the posture of victims. I'm talking about making yourself, not being victimized actually, but because of your mindset, making yourself a victim. And so if you are determined if the goals that you set, you're determined to meet them and fulfill them so that you can live the life that you want to live, you're going to do whatever it takes as a crush to get it done. Again, these are people who pull together a concrete plan, but don't stop at planning, don't stop at simply setting, but they also have a plan for implementation, and they ask for help. These are the people who are not suffering in silence. Goal crushers are not suffering in silence. They're asking for help. They're seeking out collaborations. They're working with people. They're not suffering in silence and working in silos. They realize that they need help along the way, and then they're going to be the ones who are also going to lend a helping hand to others to help others along the journey. The difference between the crasher and the crusher is the ability to make decisions. Goal crushers are decisive. Goal crushers are decisive. They're determined. They get it done because the alternative is worse than the temporary discomfort of having to do the hard work. So that's been helpful to you as you go about your day on this Wednesday. And if it has been, leave me a comment on my platforms. This is being broadcast on a number of different platforms. Hopefully you have gotten this information, and if you have, then please leave me a comment. Let me know where you are. Let me know how things are going, and let me know what platform you heard this on. Let me know what platform you heard this on, so that we can so that I can respond and help you out. But again, I have a goal setting course is coming up pretty soon. I will let you know. The main thing is to get in on my email list so I can let you know, or go directly to my website, which is gabalot.net, GABALOT. Again, that's gabalot.net, GABALOT. I want to help people with their goals, not just simply making them, but making sure that they fulfill them. And so get with me. Make sure you reach out to me. Don't be shy. Message me if you don't want the comment to show up, or you can just leave a comment, goal, 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 and I will reach out to you. Okay? So again, goal crushers, go get it done. And I hope that you have a wonderful day. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.